Everyone, and welcome to a little Dawg Talk tonight on a Tuesday night. I'm Chris Hall, your host on today's Sports Report, brought to you by UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. And it is good to have you guys with us on Facebook. Also, our good friends on Instagram as well. As you know, UGA Football News, we're kind of a huge presence in social media. We have a Instagram page with over 122,000 loyal Georgia Bulldog fans. And of course, we have a Facebook page with over 30,000 loyal UGA football fans. So, hey, it's good to be with you on a Tuesday, wherever you might be all across this land and even in foreign countries. We have a good friend who often joins us on Facebook from the Philippines. I think probably right now it's like 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that in the Philippines. But it's good to have you guys with us on a Tuesday night. Yeah, we didn't give advance warning. I don't know what happened to our group today, but it was an awfully busy day. But we kind of stacked up some UGA football news, and we wanted to talk about it a little bit and share about it a little bit. Something is always going on, of course, in Dog Nation with the University of Georgia. And there's always news to report. So we thought we'd come in here on a Tuesday night. Now, I tell you, I don't know about the weather where you are, where you live. I hope you had a wonderful day weather wise. But I can tell you in South Georgia, the high temperature today in South Georgia was around 82 degrees. Spring was in the air. Now, I think we're going to have like 2 or 3 days of this kind of weather. And then, we're going to get back to a little more seasonably cool weather. But we're getting a kind of a summer punch right now. I think the high, like on Thursday, is going to be 85, 87 degrees here in South Georgia. So we're getting a little foretaste of the spring and summer to come. And frankly, we're kind of liking it. We're enjoying it. In South Georgia, every part of the nation has its own peculiar, particular type of weather. In South Georgia, we'll have winter for like 1 day, maybe 2 days, and then we'll warm up. As rarely do we go like an extended number of days with the temperature, around freezing or something like that. We rarely have something like that. And every now and then we'll get the threat of snow. Now, in South Georgia, when we get the threat of snow, we all run to the grocery store. We buy out the milk and the bread and the eggs and all the staples because we don't want to, we don't want that dusting of snow to snow us in. We do not handle snow very, very well here in South Georgia, but it is a rare occurrence when it happens. But it's kind of a celebration time when it does. But anyway, that's enough of the weather report. We hope you had a good weather day wherever you may be. Good to have Randy Payne joining us tonight on Facebook. And we're getting a lot of waves. Hey, guys, on our Instagram page. So, we've got some folks tuning in from both of our platforms. We thought we'd hop in here and talk a little bit about UGA football news and what's happening in the world of University of Georgia, the Bulldogs. And we'll start with a very concerning report that we got this morning, and we've kind of delved into it a little bit because this happened in our neck of the woods. Fitzgerald, Georgia is not far from where our studios are here at UGA Football News. And I don't know if you've heard about this. You probably have. University of Georgia football signee E.J. Lightsey has been hospitalized after being shot at least twice during a shooting at a park in Fitzgerald, Georgia. Now, E.J. Lightsey is a linebacker. He signed with the University of Georgia in the 2022 class, a four-star recruit for the University of Georgia. And according to Fitzgerald, Georgia Police Chief William Smallwood, investigators believe that Lightsey was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Apparently, EJ was working out in a park, in a public park there in Fitzgerald. He was working out. He was doing some running, doing some cardio, and a shooting broke out, apparently a gang-related shooting. Several shots were fired. And EJ Lightsey was shot in his right shoulder and in his foot. He was taken to the local hospital, transferred to Phoebe Putney Hospital in Albany, Georgia, for treatment. He is in stable condition, according to the reports. The Chief Lightsey, or Chief Smallwood, rather, said the park is known for gang activity. Investigators believe the shooting was gang related and involved anywhere between 7 to 15 suspects. So we'll be, many people in Dog Nation are praying people, you know. Jordan Davis and his mama always prayed before the games, and running backs would get together in a huddle and have a time of prayer. And several of our players would be very visible in taking a knee and praying before our game. So, a lot of people in Dog Nation are praying people. So send up a prayer tonight for EJ Lightsey. And just remember him. The injuries are described as serious but not life threatening. So we hope that everything will be all right with EJ. And so that's something we wanted to share with you. And you might you might have heard, I'm sure you have heard, that Georgia is looking for a new offensive line coach. Matt Luke, for the past 2 seasons, has been Georgia's associate head coach and offensive line coach. He's 45 years old, and Coach Luke has vacated the position. He stepped down from the position yesterday. Of course, what a season. His last season at Georgia is one that few will forget. The offensive line for Georgia did very well this year, obviously. Luke was an effective recruiter for the Bulldogs. He was hired at Georgia in December of 2019. He signed 14 offensive linemen, including 2 5-star prospects. And so Matt Luke is stepping down as the offensive line coach for the University of Georgia. And the story is that Matt just wants to spend some time with his family. He has some young boys, and he wants to spend some time with his boys and with his family. Being a college football coach or on the staff of a college football team is a pretty time-consuming situation, and Matt Luke just wants to take some time, step away, and spend some time with his wife and with the kids. And we can understand that. He's not hired for any other coaching position. He's just stepping away. And you got to think, that may last for maybe a season or two. I don't know personally. I know Matt Luke from afar. He's a fine, from what we can understand and from what we can see, he's a fine guy and a fine coach. And so we'll be keeping an eye on that, which means now that Georgia obviously has to hire an offensive line coach. There's been some prospects, kind of bandied around a little bit, some speculation about it. Don't really know how Kirby Smart goes about this. When you have an opening on the staff, do you already have an idea? Do you already compile an idea of who might be a good coach to fill this position if your present coach decides to move on or to retire or do what Matt did to step away? Do you mentally already have, an idea of, man, that guy would be a good offensive line coach? If the opening ever comes, I think I'll talk to him. I don't know how that goes about. I don't know how Coach Smart goes about with that. I'm sure he gets a lot of input, obviously, from people. And he probably talked to Matt Luke and said, hey, Matt, who do you think might be good? I'm sure he gets a lot of input. So the Georgia staff now, or head coach Kirby Smart, looking for an offensive line coach. Some names have been thrown around, and it's pure speculation at the moment. You think the time, time wise, it might be maybe sort of, kind of a pretty, a pretty quick hire. I don't know. You have spring drills coming up and that kind of thing. So we'll keep an eye on that. And we're getting some, hey guys, good to have you on Instagram and on Facebook. It's time for everyone to change their fan support to America's team, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Well, Sean, just come on into the Bulldog room. Oh, me. That's all right. Hey, if you love your team, you love your team, you know? And Georgia Tech, um, yeah, it's Georgia Tech. Yeah. So we have an invader in the midst, Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket fan, but that's all right. That's all right. Let's see. In some other news, the a concern called Tipico Sportsbook, which I guess in the betting world is considered kind of a gold standard of projections of what might happen. Well, the Tipico Sportsbook has released its early odds for which program will win the national championship for next season, and so of course, obviously, Georgia won last year, 14-1, 2021 national champions. Thank you very much. We'll take a bow. Happy birthday to Arik Gilbert. Yeah, really. I didn't know it was Arik's birthday. Happy birthday, young man. Hope to see you on the field for the University of Georgia. And so the Tipico Sportsbook has released its early odds for which program will win the national championship. And so here's the eye. Here's the projection by this concern about who has the best chance to win the Natty last year. Of course, obviously Georgia won in 2021. Do we ever get tired of saying that? No, we don't. According to Tipico Sportsbook, Alabama has the best chance of winning the national championship next year, 220-1. Then Georgia, followed by Ohio State, Clemson, Texas A&M, the Oklahoma Sooners, USC Trojans, Michigan Wolverines, the Oregon Ducks, Dan Lanning's Oregon Ducks, Wisconsin Badgers, Notre Dame, the Florida Gators made this list. They're on the list of but they're 5,000-1 shots. So but the Florida Gators made the list of possible national champions. Not given great odds, but that's kind of interesting that they're on the list. Penn State, the Miami Hurricanes, Mark Cristobal, the new coach there, obviously. They made the list of those who might win the national championship next season. The Tennessee Volunteers are number 9 on this list, which is kind of interesting. A lot of love is being shown to the Tennessee Volunteers. Any of our good friends from Tennessee listening, you're getting a lot of buzz for next season. Josh Heupel doing a good job, and the last on the list, number whatever it is. This is not the top 10, is it? How many is this? Oh, it's several. Last on the list, given by this concern, is North Carolina, a 10,000-1 shot. Well, Tennessee's a 10,000-1 shot too. So anyway, Alabama, according to Tipico Sportsbook, Alabama has the best shot of winning the national championship next year, followed by Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, USC, Michigan, Oregon, Wisconsin, Notre Dame, Florida, Penn State, Miami, Tennessee, and North Carolina. There you go. So Florida never. Randy says Florida never. Our Georgia Tech guy's still hanging around. He's whizzing everybody. Okay, you go. Let's see. I thought we'd take a quick look at the Georgia schedule for next year. I was going to do this today, and I got so involved in doing several different things. I was going to put up like a countdown of how many days and minutes and hours and whatever, days, hours, minutes, seconds, whatever, until kickoff for the next game for the University of Georgia. But I didn't get around to doing that. But here, just quickly going over the Georgia schedule for 2022. September 3rd, Oregon in Atlanta. Okay. September 3rd. September 10th, Samford University from Alabama. That'll be in Athens. September 17th, Georgia will travel to South Carolina. September 24th, Kent State comes to Athens. October 1st, Georgia travels to Columbia, Missouri. October 8th, Auburn travels to Athens. October 15th, Vanderbilt will come to Georgia. October 22nd is an open date. October 29th, Georgia will play Florida in Jacksonville. November the 5th, Tennessee comes to Athens. Then you have two straight away games. November 12th, Georgia will travel to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. And November 19th, see, I told you every time, my nose itches. November 12th, Georgia travels to Mississippi State. November 19th, Georgia then travels to Kentucky. And then November 26th, you have Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech coming to Athens. So just, a quick little analyzing of the schedule for Georgia next year. Georgia gets Auburn and Mississippi State out of the SEC West, which is, be very favorable, I would think. You have Auburn in Athens. You have Mississippi State in Starkville. Georgia, on the regular schedule, no Alabama or Texas A&M. The road games, Oregon might as well be at home. They're in Atlanta. Florida in Jacksonville. And the other away games, South Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi State, Kentucky. And the projection is, unless something really weird happens, some kind of meltdown somehow from the University of Georgia, Georgia should be favored in every game next year, every regular season game. Georgia should be the favorite. So just a reminder, September the 3rd. The time for that game has not been announced, but it'll probably be like an 8 o'clock kind of thing. That's the opening weekend, big kickoff game between Georgia and Oregon. Have a lot of attention. Game day will probably be there. Yours truly will probably be there as well. Let's see, college football playoff. There's a college football playoff like big committee, and then there's smaller committees that kind of, determine the college football playoff deal. And so they had a big meeting last week, and the college football playoff is set to remain a 4-team format through the year 2025, the season 2025 season. Administrators who manage the postseason playoff failed to agree on a plan to expand before the current contracts run out. The current contracts run out in 2025. The projection was there was an attempt to try to expand the playoff to a 12-team format for the 2024 season, but that kind of fell flat. So the Board of Managers of College Football Playoff accepted the recommendation from its subcommittee last Thursday and directed commissioners to continue discussions on a new format that will go in effect for the 2026 season. So at least through the 2025 season, there will continue to be a 4-team playoff, 4-team college football playoff. So, and for the SEC, that's all right. I mean, seriously, for the SEC. In fact, it's kind of interesting. I think it was the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12 or something like that, who voted for the 14 playoff to remain the same. The SEC and other conferences said, well, okay, well, let's expand it. So, okay. But anyway, so you'll have a 4-team format through the year 2025. So go ahead and pencil in at least 2 SEC teams every year between now and then. Georgia being one of those. Thank you very much. Okay, we're getting a lot of. Why are we picking on Georgia Tech tonight? Is it okay? It's fine with me. Georgia Tech had 12 players in the portal. Kathy Durham says Georgia Tech had 12 players in the portal. I wonder if they picked up any. I know they lost a lot. I don't really, I'm sorry. I don't really keep up with Georgia Tech a lot. When I look this way, I'm looking at my Instagram folks. How you guys doing? And I'm my Facebook folks. Okay, 247 Sports took a look at the top quarterbacks in the SEC. They did this, thing about, okay, next season in the SEC, who's going to be the top quarterbacks? Kind of an interesting read. If you're a football junkie, you got to find something to read. this time of the year because it's kind of a lull season. We're not in the spring drills and that kind of thing. So here's the top quarterbacks in the SEC, starting, at the bottom and going up. Number 14, Kenny Seals from Vanderbilt. He has some talent, but he plays for Vanderbilt. Brady Cook for Missouri. Okay. Zach Calzada for Auburn. Yeah, of course, Calzada is a transfer from Texas A&M. TJ Finley is at Auburn. But according to 247 Sports, the 12th rated quarterback in the SEC is Zach Calzada. Number 11 is Anthony Richardson in Florida, which he has some talent, but extremely inconsistent. Number 10, Miles Brennan for LSU. Okay. Talented guy. Number 9, Will Levis from Kentucky. Coming back for another season for Kentucky, and the offense for Kentucky probably in pretty good hands with Will Levis. He can really have some sharp games at times, but a little inconsistent also as well. Ole Miss, very interesting. A guy by the name of Jackson Dart is projected to be the starter for Ole Miss next season, replacing Matt Corral. You say, who in the world is Jackson Dart? Well, he is a transfer. He came through the portal from USC. So he's rated the 8th rated quarterback by 247sports.com of the SEC. Matt Johnson, number 7, Texas A&M. You got Max Johnson and Haynes King is the 2 quarterbacks coming into the season or in the spring drills for Texas A&M. Now, the number 6 quarterback, according to 247 Sports in the SEC, is the one and only Stetson Bennett. He's rated number 6, the 6th rated quarterback in the SEC. Okay. Now, Stetson Bennett doesn't care what you rate him. He doesn't care. He does not care. You can rate him whatever. All he'll do is say, we did win the national championship. And by the way, he was the MVP, right? So Stetson Bennett is the number 6 rated quarterback in the SEC. Spencer Rattler, number 5. He'll be at South Carolina. Will Rogers, number 4 at Mississippi State. Hinden Hooker at Tennessee. There's a belief with the folks at Tennessee and a belief from a lot of people across the country that Hinden Hooker is like a star in the making. And if he has a good year, Tennessee may have a really, really good year. So Tennessee may be the biggest threat to Georgia in the SEC East. But we shall see. The number 2 rated quarterback in the SEC, according to 247 Sports going into next season, KJ Jefferson from Arkansas. He's a dude. Yeah, he's a very good dude. He's kind of like a Cam Newton kind of player. Not quite as tall, but very stocky. Tough player, good arm, good runner. KJ Jefferson. And, of course, the number 1 projected quarterback in the SEC for next season is Bryce Young. And you understand that. Quarterback for Alabama, winning the Heisman Trophy, directed big win over Georgia in the SEC Championship. But then Georgia winning the national championship. So you got Bryce Young as the top-rated quarterback in the SEC, according to 247 Sports. And, I would have put Stetson. I would have put, hey, he's a winner. I would have put Stetson at number 1A with Bryce. But that's just me. 247sports.com didn't ask my opinion. The G-Day game for Georgia is set for April the 16th. G-Day is Georgia's annual red and black spring game. Last year, it was the stadium was like at half capacity because of COVID stuff. Limited capacity. This year, it's full-fledged. Y'all go for it. Let's fill up the stadium and have a party and a rocking good time for the spring game, the G-Day game. So it's April 16th this year. It will fall on Easter weekend. That's Easter weekend. Easter Sunday, the following day on April the 17th. G-Day will be played 1 week after the Masters golf tournament in Augusta, which is slated for April 7th through the 10th. The kickoff for the G-Day game has not been announced. It likely will be televised by an ESPN network or the SEC network. The Bulldogs will begin spring practice Tuesday, March the 15th. Georgia will practice a total of 15 times, the last practice being the G-Day game. So make your plans to attend the G-Day game, which is, do they charge for that? I don't think, but I think do you have to get a ticket? My producer doesn't know. I think you have to get a ticket, but I don't think they charge you for the ticket. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get more information about that. 2023 recruiting class. Georgia has 9 commits so far, lost 1 today. So it's probably 8 commits. Who'd we lose? Which one? Okay, it's marked. I got you. We had one of our players, I think it was a cornerback, who decommitted today, committed for the 2023 class. And I don't know. We'll find it. He decommitted today. Or opened up. That's a rough term, decommitted. He opened back up his recruiting. How about that? He's no longer a commit to the University of Georgia. Doesn't mean he won't come, but he's opened up back his recruiting. So 2023 recruiting class, Georgia has 8 commitments so far. 5 of those are 4 now, ranked in the top 100 of the current 247 Sports Composite. So who do we have for 2023 is committed, and who are we looking at? Here's a list of guys we're looking at, okay? So if you're on the street and you see one of these guys walking down the street and you say, hey, I hear, you're a big-time college commit. Be a dog, son. Be a dog, commit to Georgia. Obviously, the number one commit for 2023, or the number one recruit for 2023 is Arch Manning, Isidore Newman High School in New Orleans, Louisiana. Number 1 overall. Georgia's after him. Competition pretty stiff. You got Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss. LSU's in the mix now, and somebody else. Running back Justice Haynes is uncommitted. Georgia's looking at him, trying to get to him. Has offered to him. He's the number 3 tailback. He's from Roswell, Georgia, Blessed Trinity Catholic. So Georgia's really after Justice Haynes. Reuben Owens is a running back. Georgia's really getting after him. He's the number 2 tailback in the country in this recruiting class from El Campo, Texas. And so Georgia's really going after him. Georgia's going after several running backs for 2023. Linebacker Troy Bowles is uncommitted. He's from Florida. Linebacker, son of Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive coordinator Todd Bowles. Ohio State is in the mix. So Georgia is really after him, though. Tight end Pierce Spurlin has verbally committed to Georgia. He committed in September of 2020. Also, Georgia has Lawson Lucky from Norcross, Georgia, as a tight end commit for the 2023 class. Raymond Cottrell verbally committed to Georgia November 2021. He's a wide receiver. Wide receiver DeQuavius Sori verbally committed to Georgia February 2021. Brandon Ennis, American Heritage out of Florida, number 1 wide receiver in the country. And Georgia is really shooting after him. Caden Procter is an offensive tackle, uncommitted. He's from Iowa. Georgia has never signed a high school player from Iowa. But Georgia's really after this dude. And Georgia already has Bo Hewley, an offensive tackle from Fairburn, Georgia, in this class, who's committed to this class. But they're really after this guy, Caden Procter. Of course, the Big Ten teams are after him as well. So that'd be interesting if Georgia signs a dude from Iowa, and that'd be something. Defensive lineman Tamarian Parker. He's from Phoenix City, Alabama. Defensive lineman, big dude, number 13 defensive lineman in the class. Georgia's battling Alabama, Ohio State, and others. For this guy, safety Jonell Aguero. Jonell Aguero from Danvers, Massachusetts. A safety. Georgia's after him. Cornerback Marcus Washington from Grovetown, Georgia. Is that the one that decommitted today? I don't know. Verbally committed to Georgia back in May of 2021. So there you go. So right now in the 2023 class, there are others. Marcus Washington has committed. Bo Hewley, Pierce Sperlin, Raymond Cottrell, Dequarius Sori, Kayan Lee. Maybe he's the one. I think he's the one that decommitted. Lawson Lucky, Requires McElderry from Anniston, Alabama, Stephen Cloud. Those are the commits for 2023. So anyway, all right. So we thought we'd just pop in here with a little dog report for you on a Tuesday night. We're keeping our eyes on what's happening around the University of Georgia, and a lot of interesting things going on. So Georgia's looking for an offensive tackle, and we'll keep you updated on that. Matt Luke stepping aside, going to watch his boys play a little bit, some sports, and spend some time with his family. We can understand that. Good luck to Coach Luke. And we'll keep you updated with the latest from the University of Georgia, our sports. And we're expanding beyond football. Of course, it's a basketball season. The Georgia's men's team, tough season. Might be some changes on the horizon for the Georgia men's basketball team. The women's team looks set for the NCAA tournament and might make some noise. Our baseball team has started. Georgia, the Bulldogs baseball team has started the season, doing pretty good. I think they swept Wright State or something like that in the opening weekend. So we'll keep you updated on all kinds of things going on with the University of Georgia. It's been good to be with you tonight on a Tuesday night, as we have been live here on UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. We'll pop in here every now and then with some latest sports report news from the University of Georgia. I hope you have a good night. God bless you. And remember, go Dogs.